I know you gonna dig this.
Hello, and thank you for joining H8L Presents Fistfights and Fried Rice. Welcome to the UFC 251 Postshow. I am your host, Taz, and joined with me, I have Justice Magnificent.
What's going on?
And the one, the only, often imitated but never duplicated, Uncle McGriddles.
Yo, Usman for life.
Ah, wow. You know what? Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Let's just go ahead and get right into UFC 251. What were your overall thoughts, gentlemen, on the card as a whole?
It was a good card until that last fight.
Okay, McGriddles, your thoughts?
I thought it was good all around, dude. I know we were talking about it during the week, especially during this virus shit when there's like no sports on whatsoever. So I was waiting all week for this card. I probably started like waiting at the pre-show at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Like the first fight wasn't until like 6. All in all, I thought it was good card, good fights. My main bummer out of the thing was Aldo, which I didn't think he was going to win, but that was like, oh my god, he looked. There's flashes of brilliance there, but
yeah,
he looked
man.
brutal at the end of it. But all in all, I thought it was a good card.
All right, well, we'll just start with the bottom of the card. Bottom of the card, we have the women's flyweight match between Amanda Hebus and one Paige Van Zandt. I think for the most part, I think we all pretty much called Rebus winning this fight by submission, did we not?
Yeah. I mean, she's been caught like 3 or 4 times in arm bars.
With that same arm that's been broken, God knows how many times, you would think by now Paige would learn, I don't know, maybe some armbar defense or maybe learn to not just leave that arm flailing out there like that.
Yeah, and she says, though, she makes more money on Instagram than she does in the UFC. So, hey.
Yeah, I think that's my big question after this. I thought she was going to lose, but I wouldn't be surprised if she just did stop fighting soon. I believe her when she says that she makes more money outside of the UFC. So it's like, I don't know, why not do that if the division's kind of passing you by? But
you know, I have to agree. In all honesty, I mean, I was never really a Paige Van Zandt fan. I was never really on that train or on that bandwagon. I always thought she was an adorable girl to look at with some pretty decent striking skills, but with just for some reason, to me, she was just never able to put it all together. And by put it all together, I mean to be able to defensively and offensively be effective, not only standing, but also on the ground. I mean, she's got some great wins to her name, but she's got a good amount of highlight reel level losses to people, especially when it comes to the submission game. Like, I don't know much about this Amanda Hebus, but I definitely think she's going to be a tear in the flyweight division. Your thoughts?
Yeah, she's pretty good on the ground. I think she'll make some noise.
yeah, I can see that.
What do you see for Paige Van Zandt? You think it's time for her to just go ahead and hang it up and just make that the Instagram money, or just keep fighting and do both? Because honestly, I don't see her ever coming close to a title. And honestly, to me, she looked bored in there. She looked like, you know, it was just another fight, just another paycheck to collect. To me, I didn't see a sense of urgency or even that kill switch. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, it looks almost like UFC is like the stepping stone for her to do other things as opposed to like vice versa. But yeah, I agree. I don't see her winning any belt anytime soon, which I'm not saying if she wants to and legitimately wants to compete, I mean, go for it. But I'm wondering if she's just fighting out a contract. I don't really know much about her as far as, I mean, every fighter is going to say that they're going to win a title or whatever, but I just don't see her doing it. I'm looking at her last few fights now, or her record, and so she's lost 4 of her last 6. And the people she's losing to are people that she would have to like fight again if she was going to
Exactly.
I don't see anything changing.
Exactly. As long as she stays in this weight class, like you just said, everyone that she's lost to would be women she would have to refight all over again. And in all honesty, I don't see her getting past any of them. And I think she'd be foolish to try to move up. I think she'd be too small for that division.
Yeah, I don't think she developed as she should in her training from the beginning. You know, just the overall skill set. I know she started out just kind of training just to kind of do it, but she didn't have a good foundation, in my opinion. You know, the striking wasn't really there, the grappling wasn't really there. It's really, really beginnerish.
Yeah, she's rudimentary at best. Like I said, I got nothing against her, not hating on her. You know, I wish her all the best in the world. She's a beautiful girl. I think if she can make more money out of the UFC, God willing, you know what? Do it. But staying in the UFC and trying to compete at this level with these girls, I honestly, I just think it's foolish. I think the Amanda Hebeses of the world or the Karate Heidi's of the world, the Felicia Herrings of the world are always just going to give it to her. I just don't see her, just from my opinion, I don't see her developing the necessary skill set to be actively competitive against any of them. Any of them within the top 8, I don't see her getting past.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, for our next fight, we had the women's strawweight. I believe it was Jessica Andrade and Thug Rose Namajunas. I think for the most part, I think we all were pretty much decisive that Namajunas was going to walk away with the victory. Were we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody was thinking that.
I'm going to say
Andrade,
something.
she's tough as nails, though.
Man, she is. And you know what? I was impressed with her newfound head movement. I was impressed that she was able to avoid as many shots as she did. Even though Thug Rose got the victory, it looked like she got the worst of the shots.
Well, Andrade has power. She swings from the hip, so of course, I would think the same thing.
I actually thought that if this had been a 5-round fight, I think in the end Andrade would have won.
Yeah, it looked like at the end she was definitely putting it on her. I had Rose for the first 2 rounds, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. I think that third round, it was just the Andrade show. And like I said, I think if this had been a championship fight with 2 more rounds, I think she would have ended up beating the brakes off of Thug Rose.
Definitely possible.
Thug Rose had great movement, great striking. I mean, those straight shots down the center were definitely the telltale of that particular fight. I love how she negated all of Andrade's attempts to push her up against the cage or try to get into a clinch or a grappling match. And I mean, after that hellacious slam to her forehead, I would have done the exact same thing too. I mean, she definitely bounced back after that loss. And to me, I think she looked true to form. She looks like she could still potentially go after that strawweight title. Your thoughts?
Oh,
this sounds.
I don't know. I don't know if she beats Weili. I mean, Zhang's. She's a different beast, man.
I mean, she is, but let's not pretend like Thug Rose didn't completely destroy JJ in their first fight and then outstrike her pretty convincingly in the rematch. And JJ just went toe-to-toe with Weili, and I mean, we all know what that hematoma on her forehead looked like. Do you think that Thug Rose could potentially take those shots from Weili?
Depends on her mindset.
Okay.
I mean, because she's off and on. When she loses or sometimes she wins, she's like, I don't know if I want to fight anymore. It's just kind of one of those things. You can never tell with Thug Rose. She takes so much time off. Like, it's been how long since her last fight?
I mean, she was like power bombed from her living room straight to hell. I mean, I would have taken some time off too. I mean, she literally got Fedor slammed.
Yeah, let go of the Kimura. That wouldn't happen.
That's fair. I mean, I think she learned a valuable lesson in regards to, if you lock in that Kimura and someone's stronger than you and picks you up, let that shit go. I mean, I definitely think she learned that. And I definitely think she learned from that loss. I thought she looked pretty good. You know what? Now that you bring up the whole, Weili thing, now you got me questioning. I do wonder, could Rose stand there toe-to-toe with her the same way that JJ did? I mean, that fight between JJ and Weili was just an absolute barn burner, and I'm just wondering, I think Thug Rose has better movement and better angles than JJ, but after looking at the Andrade fight last night, I don't know if she can take the power shots from Weili. Weili also throws at the hip, just like Andrade, but she's more crisp and she's more technical about it. That girl's just a thoroughbred. She's just a fucking beast.
I think the odds definitely would favor Weili. I think it's the fight to make. I think Rose has, one of the best chance of anybody of beating her, but I don't think she will. I think it'll be a really good fight, the same way it was with JJ.
Okay. I think, like I said, I give Weili the upper hand in terms of power. I think Thug Rose outstrikes her. I think Thug Rose is faster. I think she's more agile. She's more limber. She's better with her side-to-side and in-and-out movements than Weili is. But I do think the power game will ultimately slow Rose down. I see Rose winning, if that is the fight to make, I see Rose winning, I'd say the first 2.5 rounds, maybe. And then after that, it's the Weili show. I think the power ultimately slows her down. Though I am questioning, is that really the fight to make, Thug Rose and Wei or would you rather not see a rematch between JJ and Wei?
I mean, JJ and Whaley would be another good fight.
That'd be a great fight.
But, I mean, it was close, but it wasn't really that close.
Was it close?
Mm-hmm.
Was it close, Justice?
I mean,
was it?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't at all, man.
Yeah, the hematoma kind of, it told the tale of the fight.
I mean, I
don't know if I think it is Rose. I think Rose is the fight to make.
Okay, all right, Uncle McGriddles.
Yeah, I think Rose is definitely the fight to make.
Wow, so you two are just shitting on JJ. Oh, JJ, I still love you, and I'm still rooting for you. Just be a matter of time before she recaptures that belt. I'm just putting it out there now. Just saying, it's just a matter of time. I don't know if she'll take the belt from Wei Li. I think whoever beats Wei Li by way of point fighting, I think JJ will then outstrike that individual, and that's how she'll regain her title. That's just how I foresee it going. I would love to see a Andrade and Wei Li match. I think that'd be entertaining, just to watch two powerhouses just beat the shit out of each other. That'd be entertaining.
Yeah, that didn't go well for Andrade the first time.
It did not, but it was entertaining for the first 10 seconds that it was going. No one expected Wei Li to knee her entire fucking ribcage through her body.
Yeah, I think Andrade, if she didn't throw those crazy hooks and she threw straight down the pipe, I think she probably would make some, would do a lot more.
I don't know, man. She's short and she's got those little stubby Mike Tyson arms. You think
her movement is good, and I think that once she gets on the inside, then yeah, but she throws those crazy hooks from the outside.
Okay, we'll just have to see what the future holds. I'm all for it either way. I would love to see Thug Rose get another shot or another title shot. I think it'd be a great fight between her and Wei Li. Movement versus power. I think that'd be entertaining. I wouldn't even mind watching a third fight between Andrade and Namajunas. I really wouldn't, because I am convinced the tide was turning in that fight, and Andrade was really starting to find her range, starting to really pick her shots better, and I mean, she was battering Thug Rose's face after a while, and I think if she had another 2 rounds, I think she takes that decision. That's just me.
I agree.
Next up, bantamweight title bout. Petr Yan and Jose Aldo. I just want to start off with saying I thought Aldo looked fantastic the first handful of rounds. I thought it looked like the Aldo of old for moments here and there, when he was really letting those leg kicks go and utilizing step-in knees whenever Jan would get close to him. He looked like the Aldo of old. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, as a lifelong Aldo fan, I thought he was going to take this. I really thought he had a really good chance at beating Jan. And to me, he showed it. He proved it. He looked good. He had good kicks, good movement. I think where Aldo made the mistake was, I think he stood in the pocket far too long and just stayed on the outside of Jan's punches far too long. And I'll give him credit for bouncing back from that body shot at the end of the first round, because I did not think that he was going to rally back from that. And he proved me wrong. Your thoughts?
I was the same, man. I was like, my hopes were way too high after the first couple rounds for Jose Aldo. I was like, oh my God, dude, he's actually going to fucking do it. He's actually going to fucking be the bantamweight champion. And then I saw him start to fall apart more or less. But yeah, one thing, I mean, the question obviously becomes, should Jose Aldo stick around? And he posted some message where he was all positive about coming back and shit. So I say he sticks around. I don't think he's going to be active in the title picture, but if he wants to fight, I think he's still at a level where it's dude, he had a legitimate bantamweight title fight. So it's I can't say he's just done, but at the same time, he's not the Aldo of old. But there was flashes of the Aldo of old in early on in the fight, especially when he was working the leg kick more and shit like that. My hopes were through the moon. I thought the stoppage was late.
The stoppage was insanely late.
It was it made it even harder to watch. It's okay, I can choke on Aldo losing. I see all my favorites lose all the time. But it's like I had to watch him get like fucking mauled. I was like, dude, how could they could have stopped that thing like 5 times?
Dude, it was like a minute and a half of him just getting beat on repeatedly over and over and over and over again. And that ref just sat there and was like, yeah, fight, hey, improve your position. Bro, he can't. He's literally just dying right now. You are watching a legalized mugging and you're just sitting there. I've never been one to be like, oh, that ref should be fired or that ref should be fined. But I will go so far as to say I do think something has to change in terms of these refs as well as these judges. I would love to see UFC or any professional MMA organization, or hell, even any professional combat sports league in general. I would like for them to implement a fining system. Fines for bullshit calls or bullshit decisions, or if you got a fucking referee who's just watching a dude get punched through the fucking canvas and has all the power in the world to stop it, but instead just sits there and watch a dude get beat on for a minute and a half, that fucker should be fined. That's just me.
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting. What'd you think of Aldo, Justice?
I mean, he looked good. I think we was posting on here. He looked good the first 2 minutes of the fight until he caught that body shot. My thing with Aldo has always been cardio has always been an issue, and the weight cut doesn't help down to 135, especially with the way he says he's doing it. It's always going to be cardio. Did he get knocked out? No, he only got knocked out once by Conor McGregor.
We don't have to talk about that ever. It's okay.
But it's the truth. I mean, he got tired against Max. Max just overwhelmed him twice. Marlon Moraes, he really didn't win. He did win, but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What now? I'm sorry. Hey, let's rewind that back. I'm sorry. You didn't feel that Aldo won that fight?
I mean, he won. You know, to the untrained eye, he did.
You're insane. Aldo won that fight, bro. He outstruck him everywhere with the hands, and just hands.
But he just kind of he took some shots.
He did.
And the thing about it was, they weren't hard shots. They were just kind of pity pat shots, just kind of just to kind of score points. That's how he got caught up. And I think that happened the same thing with Jan. He just kind of stood there. He gets some head movement here, he gets some there, but then it's like, okay, I'm tired again, so I'm just gonna stand here and just kind of react and counter. And then Jan is on combinations to the body. He's moving around, he's switching stances, throwing low kicks, and and then all of a sudden, when you see Aldo back up against the cage, it's like, okay, we know what time it is now.
Man, yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but again, as a lifelong Aldo fan, I saw moments of brilliance, and there were times where I genuinely thought he had a chance of being a 2-division champion. I really did. Like when he was utilizing the leg kicks, I mean, there was one leg kick, I barely even saw it. It just looked like he turned his hip over, next thing you know, Jan's on the ground. He kicked that dude so hard that he took his legs out from underneath him. I think that if the Aldo of today didn't have all these leg injuries and foot injuries that he had suffered all throughout his career, I think he would have taken that belt from Jan. I really do.
I loved his leg kick to liver shot thing he was doing. That's like his classic shit.
Oh, it's beautiful. And it was great to see that.
When he like doubles up on a liver shot, it's like, dude, who the fuck else doubles up on liver shots like that? He's badass when he comes after you.
Oh yeah,
crazy athleticism, but no cardio.
Man,
that's just it.
I don't really know if it's all just no cardio. I mean, I really think that body shot at the end of the first round definitely caught him by surprise. I definitely don't think that he expected Jan to be able to generate as much force and as much power punching downwards to his midsection than he did. I think he thought, okay, Jan's going to try to pass my legs, try to get side control, or try to go for a mount. I think in that brief moment, he let his guard down, got popped, winced in complete agony, weathered the storm like a fucking champion, went back to his corner, regrouped, came back, and I actually thought he won the next round.
He did. He won the second round.
Yeah,
easy.
He won it cleanly and decisively. Like I said, there were moments of absolute brilliance there between, or I should say, from Aldo. And like I said, for a few moments, he looked like the Aldo of old.
Right. But the fights he's went 5 rounds. Mark Hominick, fourth and fifth round, he was terrible. Fight against Edgar, he started slowing down, and if Chan Sung Jung wouldn't have got separated his shoulder, that may have been a different fight.
We will have to agree to disagree on that one. Though I hope they'd never cross paths ever again. But we're just going to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, when he gets into that fourth and fifth round, it's something, I don't know what it is. But again, striking wise, man, his 1-2, his leg kick, again, that body shot, leg kick body shot, nobody can do that.
All right, so let me ask you gentlemen this. Who gets the crack at Jan right now? You going Aljamain? You going Gamebred? Who do you see going after that title? Or who would you give the title shot to, I should ask?
I'm probably going to get pissed off because it should be Aljamain, but based on what Dana said at the press conference, it might not be.
I think it's going to be Aljamain.
He was like, he got to take a look. I think they may put Marlon in there.
Okay, this is where I'm at with that, because I'm a fan of both Marlon and I'm a fan of Aljamain. This is my thing. I felt that, and again, love Aldo to death, Aldo was not deserving of this title shot. I'm just going to put that out there. As much as I was a fan of watching him fight, as much as I enjoyed watching, the moments and the moments of brilliance and the return of of young Aldo, he was not deserving of this particular title shot. It should, in my opinion, have gone to Marias. At the end of the day, even though I don't agree with the decision, it should have been him fighting Jan. But then again, also look at the other side of the coin. How many times has Aljamain been completely just stepped on in terms of title shots or bypassed for number one contenderships?
A few. I think this last run he had since he lost to Marias has been it. When he lost to I think it was Caraway or Sunside, he lost to one of those two guys. When he lost to them, that kind of set him back.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like they put him all the way at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of available guys. I mean, yeah, I understand the loss set him back, but he should have been fighting for a title by now. Okay,
a question. I gotta play devil's advocate. Even though I'm a big Aljamain fan, does he beat Aldo? Hell no. Not on a good day. He's gonna get hurt. Marlon still has his knee in Aldo's mouth.
If he stands with Aldo, Aldo takes that fight. If he utilizes his grappling and his wrestling, he beats Aldo.
Who has beaten Aldo at wrestling?
You just saw it last night.
Where?
You didn't see Aldo getting the shit pummeled out of him for 3 fucking minutes straight? Because I sure did.
Well, that was after he, you
didn't see
himself standing up.
You didn't see Jan. You didn't see Jan pick his leg and then hit him with the schoolboy karate front trip.
Yeah, I wanted to call you and be like, "Did you just see that?"
I could not believe I watched that happen. I had Deku over at my house watching that, and we both just looked at each other. We're like, "Did that happen? That happened." Let's
he's catching combinations to the body, left and right. I mean, non-stop, no defending. Of course, he goes to the ground and gets dominated. But is he taking down dominated? A fresh Aldo taking down? Yeah, right.
Okay.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see if he retires, it's just because he's not gonna beat the top guys. But I don't think even number 1 down through number 5 could beat Aldo still in bantamweight. I don't believe many guys at featherweight can beat Aldo, to be honest, in the top 10.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's good to hear such. It's good to hear such loyalty for Aldo. I appreciate that. The fan in me definitely appreciates that. Or so let me ask you this. So let's say Aljamain gets screwed over again, doesn't get the title shot, which he should. Who are your top 3 to go for that belt? Your top 3 that you would like to see challenge for that belt?
Marias, That's it. I don't think it's anybody else in that division. Or Cody. I forgot about Cody Garbrandt.
Mhm.
But I think Cody Garbrandt has one more fight to get before he's there. Sugar Sean is. They're not gonna get him a shot. He's a star in the making. So they're gonna take the long way with him, the long route.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then TJ, when he comes back in January, maybe one fight for TJ, and he wins the fight decisively in impressive fashion, he's right there.
You think he'll get that immediate title shot?
Hey, the snake, that's my guy, regardless of the steroids or whatever he was doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, hot take. Okay. Man, all right. What about you, McGriddles?
Pretty much the same, dude. I think it's gonna be Aljamain Marias. I think Cody Garbrandt, which it wouldn't make sense, but also keep in mind, I think Aldo lost his last 2 fights or whatever before he got this title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Garbrandt had a spectacular knockout his last fight, and the way the UFC thinks, they might be like, "All right, dude, it's Garbrandt versus Jan." For some reason, I can just see Dana White saying that. For some reason, so,
the funny thing is, I could see that too. I think in terms of the money fight to make, it's Jan and Garbrandt. I think the right fight to make is Aljamain and Jan. In terms of money, like who's going to pay good pay-per-view money to watch that, it would be Cody and Jan. I like Aljamain, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of his. And I think that once he gets that title, notice I didn't say if, once he gets that title, I think he'll be a very dominant champion. I think he'll hold that belt for a while. It's just giving him the opportunity. It just seems to always slip through his fingers over, one thing here and there. And like you said, McGriddles, Garbrandt had that hellacious knockout, that highlight reel, pop and drop, fucking overhand from hell, and literally starched a dude to death. It's hard to deny what an entertaining fight that would be between two guys who are just going to stand there and box the shit out of each other. Garbrandt can kick, Jan can kick. Both of them have devastating punching power. Both of them have knockout power in both hands. Both of them move very well. Both of them are very active, very agile. That's an entertaining ass fight. Now, on the flip side of the coin, I'm a big fan of Marias too. I think his striking is good. He is a guy with very questionable cardio as well. I don't know for him if it's necessarily the weight cut or just the amount of muscle he packs on his frame. Later rounds, he turns to absolute dog shit. Early rounds, he's a fucking wrecking ball. He's a beast. His leg kicks, fucking a thing of beauty. His head kicks are fast. They're quick. They're accurate. It's going to be a tough road for Jan no matter how you look at it. No matter what direction he turns, there's a killer waiting for him. Justice, your thoughts?
Marlon Moraes is a 155-pound. He's huge. He's short, but he's huge.
He's a fucking tiny welterweight, man. He is just a walking ball of fucking muscle. I don't even know how he makes that weight cut, to be honest with you.
But again, like you said, rounds 3, 4, and 5, you can tell.
Dog shit. Absolute dog shit.
But I am a fan of Jan now. Jan, he got a fan now.
Oh, you weren't sold before?
I not really. Against Faber, I was like, yeah. Then it was like, it's still your right, Faber. So yeah, he got a fan now.
Okay. What about yourself, McGriddles? You been a Jan fan since day one, or has he had to grow on you?
I'm definitely a fan now, dude. I think that was one of the most impressive things about it from like a Jose Aldo's fans' point of view is like because Jan is really fucking good, and Aldo was like in that fight. So that's why Aldo didn't really lose stock with me in there. But yeah, Jan is fucking awesome. I like his personality and shit. He just seems like a stand-up dude. His fights are exciting. I can definitely get behind him.
Okay. I've been a Jan fan since day one. I called it when he first got to the UFC that dude was going to be a future champion, and I'm glad to see that prediction came true. I just hated the fact that prediction came at the cost of Aldo. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I see that the sky is the limit for this cat, but I definitely feel that no matter what direction he looks in, he has got a murderer's row of absolute killers all in line ready to take that title. For Aldo, I would actually like to see him go back up in weight. I would like to see him return. I'd like to see him return to 145. Perfect word. Or man, I'm getting my What was bantamweight? Is that 55?
That's 35.
35. I want to see him go. I want to see him go back to 45. I think that to me, he looked better. How do I put this? He looked better last night than he looked in his last like 2 outings. And I don't know if this is because he just rehydrated back up, but he didn't look quite as weathered. But I would like to see him go back to his previous weight class. I think that he performed better there. If he's going to continue fighting, I think that's where he needs to be. If he doesn't choose to go back to that weight class, I'd rather see him hang up the gloves before another referee just allows him to get stomped out and die. Not saying that that's going to happen moving forward, but the chinks in the armor are definitely starting to show. Like you said, the gas tank isn't there. It was really never there before to begin with, but it's more evident of that now. Like I feel like the 4th round, he just completely took it off. He didn't do anything that 4th round at all. He was literally just a walking punching bag, just trying to get whatever air back into his system that he could.
No, absolutely.
If I had my way, perfect world, either he returns to his previous weight class or just hangs the glove up. Those are just the 2 options that I see for him, but again, that's just me. Moving up to featherweight, our co-main event, Volkanovski, Holloway, the rematch. Oh, Justice, would you like to go ahead and get your 2 cents out of the way?
Yeah, I have $1 worth because that was a terrible decision.
I can't help but disagree, man. I thought Volkanovski did the right thing. I thought the decision was good. I thought Volkanovski did enough to retain his title. It's not Volkanovski's job to go out of his way to defend that title. He is the champion. It's Holloway's job as the challenger to decisively and convincingly win, and he did not. Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted your 2 cents. Go on ahead, bro.
No, you sound like you're a boxing fan, like one of those hardcore boxing guys, because that is crazy. A win is a win.
And
that
Volkanovski
whole thing
won.
about you gotta go out and beat the champion to take the belt, and if you don't necessarily beat him, that's crazy.
Bullshit.
Man.
Ric Flair said it best. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Holloway did not beat the man. Woo!
It was one of the times me and Taz rarely agreed that Volkanovski would win.
He didn't win though. He lost those
You're
first 2 rounds.
fucking insane. How do you feel like he didn't win? In what avenue did he not win?
First 2 rounds, he got smoked.
You're fucking high, dude.
I had him losing the first 2, but I had him winning 3, 4, and 5.
I didn't see 3.
I had him losing the first. I had him losing the first half of round 2, and then he started coming back. And then once he started finding his rhythm, he had it. 3, 4, and 5, all Volkanovski.
4 and 5. What did he do in 4 and 5? The only thing that won him the fight in 4 and 5 were the takedowns.
That is enough.
Yeah.
Man,
that's literally enough.
Crazy. He did nothing with those.
Oh my!
I mean,
dude,
it's
come
like
on.
a super even fight on the feet. Like that little takedown, it's like gonna be like, all right, if it's basically a draw, otherwise, I'm like, all right, so
exactly. On the feet, they were pretty much even back and forth for the most part. 4 and 5, Volkanovski did the right thing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and secure this takedown. The judges are all about some takedowns. You land 1 or 2 takedowns in a fucking round, they're going to give you that round. Unless you just had the absolute brakes just beating off you. Tell me I'm wrong on that.
You are not wrong, but that's BS.
It's the fight game, bro.
In that case, then, Poirier versus last fight he fought against
Hooker?
Hitman? Hooker scored takedowns.
And so did Poirier. Bro, you're smoking that dang.
No, I'm not smoking, man.
Man,
everybody
agreed. You're awesome.
I was the only one that seen it. Everybody know that decision should have went the other way.
Nah.
Volkanovski, he was point fighting. He can keep point fighting like Edgar and Ben Henderson and Clay Guida.
What? Okay, wow. Okay, some of those. Clay Guida's a point fighter? What?
Yes, he's a point fighter. Where have you seen who has Clay Guida TKO?
He's not a TKO fighter. He doesn't have that kind of power. He's never had that kind of power.
He takes you down
and beats
and
the
throws
shit
these stupid elbows and then just lays on top of you and moves around.
Okay. All right.
And shakes his hair and flips his hair back and forth and jumps up and down.
Runs deep within this one. Man. Wow. I think Volkanovski is nowhere near a fucking point fighter. I think he figured out Holloway's game, and figured it out in their first fight. Like, okay, he was going to attempt to try to maintain a pace that normally most people can't keep up with. Now, Holloway came across a person who could keep up with that pace, who could match him punch for punch, kick for kick. Holloway could have easily stole that fight by simply utilizing some takedowns, but he didn't. He chose to stand there, do his little Nick Diaz wannabe shit talking in the cage, stand there and just try to appease the just bleed gods and just bang. Volkanovski came there to do what a champion does, and that is defend his title. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be great, but what it does have to be is convincing. And it was convincing.
I hope you guys remember that for the next fight we're about to talk about.
He's waiting on this. He's waiting on it.
Oh,
I'm kind of stalling.
I have much to say about this next fight, but I just wanted to go ahead and just get this out of the way because I was shocked to read some comments from a one Justice Magnificent disagreeing with this blatant right decision.
It's okay though, because when his next defense will probably be against Zabit or Chan Sung Jung, and either one of those guys. There's no point fighting. There's no running around the cage. There's no shot for shot. They're going to go at you hard.
And he's going to have to utilize the hell out of that wrestling because if he tries to stand there with either one of them and pit-pat fight, good luck to him. That we are definitely in agreement with. But just let it be known that I called this fight through and through. It went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go, and I agree with the decision.
I picked Volkanovski too, but that was a bad decision.
Yeah, it was not.
I agree with the decision, but I didn't really feel like either guy obviously beat the other guy. I see why Volkanovski got the decision, but I mean, if they fought a third time, I wouldn't be against it. I don't know. I just feel like it didn't resolve anything this fight.
I'd love to see it again. I'd love for them to run it back, a third time. I think their first fight was definitely the better of the two fights thus far. The second one, I mean, I could give or take. I'm a fan of both, so I don't lose anything either way. But just in terms of the fight game, I thought that Volkanovski did what he needed to do to retain his title. I think if Holloway wanted that belt, he would have done more than just stand there and throw inside leg kicks and jabs.
Say Holloway goes up to 155. He needs about 10 pounds of muscle, gain some power, some athleticism, and he'll be fine at 155. He'll make some waves.
You don't think Holloway is athletic as it is?
I mean, he's okay, but he needs a little bit more. Did you see the last fight with Poirier?
What is with you? Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on the Holloway not being athletic.
He's an athletic guy, but we talking about 155. This is not 145. There's no Frankie Eggers. There's no Volkanovskis. We're talking about Khabib. We're talking about Poirier. We're talking about Dan Hooker. We're talking about the Kevin Lees. We're talking about those guys.
I think he has the cardio to hang with these guys. I think he has the athleticism to hang with these guys. But what he is lacking is the power to hang with these guys. He's lacking the power to stop these guys. That if he goes to 155, that is what I think he needs to bring to the table. He already has the movement. He already has the athleticism. He already knows how to get in and out. He's good at that shit. He knows how to fight within his range, outside of his range. He knows how to make people miss. He knows how to do all that shit at 45, and I know he can bring that to 55. What he needs at 55 is fucking power. He needs power, and he needs that killer instinct. Not this, let me point to the fucking ground and jabber jaw at you and we just stand here and trade. Fuck that. Them dudes at 55 will fucking kill you for that shit.
The Tony Fergusons, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually hope Holloway never goes to 55.
I would like to see him at 55. I think he's competitive. He's top 5 in 55.
Okay. All right.
As long as Khabib doesn't come back in for another year or so.
Okay, we're gonna agree to disagree on that one. Holloway, if you're listening, stay your ass at 45, bro. Just stay there. Now we're on to our main event. The welterweight title. BMF champ, a one Gamebred Jorge Masvidal, taking on the champ, Kamaru, foot stomp machine Usman. Gentlemen, how do you guys feel about this match? No, not all at once now.
McGriddles, you go first. You're waiting on this. Go ahead.
I'm one of the few people in the world, apparently, after reading the internet, that is a Kamaru Usman fan. um, I mean, it was basically what I expected. I mean, I thought Masvidal's hands and stuff might give him more of a problem. They didn't, but as I mentioned in the chat, like it's bittersweet. On one hand, they saved what I would say the hype of the card. Like the card was really good anyway, so I don't think they saved it. But with Gilbert Burns being gone, I think it saved the hype of this card to have Masvidal coming. Because it's just like a crazy factor in this card, and it was cool. So props to him for taking it on such short notice. But at the same time, I can't help but think like how it might have been different if he had like a full camp to prepare for this. But it was pretty much what I expected. I mean, Usman fucking controls the shit out of people. Like, dude, say what you guys want about him. He does fucking hold against the cage. I looked at like his clinch time, and it was like almost exactly for half of each round he was holding him against the cage. But he stood right in front of him, dude. He got hit by him. He fucking was right in front of him. He was hitting him. Fucking Masvidal kept doing that thing, which you were talking about Holloway doing it, and I kind of had the same feeling about it when it was happening to Jorge, where he was doing like almost like Razor Ramon shit as Usman's shoulders like jamming into his face. He's like making faces like it doesn't hurt and stuff, but it's like, dude, you're in a situation which I've noticed when guys when Usman holds him against the cage, like this like look on their face of just like desperation as you realize like you're not fucking going anywhere. But dude, I mentioned when we were doing the fighting game episode that like I am a fucking troll in fighting games. I get people pissed. I like doing the cheapest thing that makes them so mad. And like I literally love it from like a weird way. Like I'm like grinning ear to ear watching him hold him against the cage because I knew everybody else was gonna be so mad. So I'm like, yes, dude. I'm like such a fan of Usman just grabbing people. Like if you had the ability to just grab people and fucking hold them against the cage and like hit him a little bit, which he does stand in front of him and throw, but I'm not gonna lie, he's fucking mainly holding people in place and fucking doing just enough to win. But he's like scoring like every second. Like he barely loses rounds, never gets knocked down, never gets wobbled. I think one of the stats before it, and I could be totally wrong, but I could have swore it said like people have been on top of him for all of 2 seconds in the UFC or something like that. Like literally like 2 seconds. So it's like he is not exciting to watch, dude. But I think he's undoubtedly the best welterweight in the world, and I don't think he's going anywhere.
Oh my god. Okay. Man. You know what, Justice, you go on ahead, man. You go on ahead, because I need to collect my thoughts.
Well, even though I'm a Masvidal fan, the main event was some BS. You can't talk as much trash as Usman did and go out there and put in foot stomp and shoulder shrug for 5 rounds. Like you talking about you was gonna make the guy squeal like a pig and all this and that. Me being a Masvidal fan, it's not even about that. It's about, okay, you said you was gonna ground and pound, punish this guy, do all these type of things, and you did the complete opposite. You hugged him up against the cage, tried to sniff his crotch. You even grabbed his crotch twice in the fight. You grabbed his cup literally grabbed his crotch.
That's what champions do.
Grabbing crotches, and that's what he's a crotch sniffer. That's what Masvidal says. He's sniffing crotches. He's not trying to finish the fight. He's trying to win, but he's not trying to finish the fight.
All right.
It's boring. Like that I don't get. Like you can't hype everything up telling somebody there. He talked that trash to Kobe, and Kobe, he stood there in front of him and they banged it out.
Yeah, they did.
So if you're gonna talk trash to Masvidal, telling him he's subpar, pick him up, take him down, and you punish him against the cage, Khabib style. He even compared himself to Khabib one time. He is nowhere near close to that. Khabib is a killer. Usman is a crotch sniffer.
All right, there we have it from Justice. All right, my 2 cents on this. First and foremost, Deku, welcome to the show, bro. How you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing good. Sorry for my tardiness.
Nah, you're good, bro. You came in right at the right time. First and foremost, allow
Yeah,
me to say this,
sounds like a whole bunch of
gentlemen.
Usman haters in here. Like, Jesus Christ.
First and foremost, allow me to say, Deku, you were absolutely right, sir. You called this fight down the middle. The fight went exactly the way that you called it. So I'm going on record and I'm putting it out there. I was wrong. I was convinced that this fight was going to be a one-sided ass beating from the beast known as Gamebred. Now, with that being said, allow me to also say, fuck Kamaru Usman. This fight from him was absolute shit. I think Justice said it best. When he talked shit to Colby, he stood there in the center of that ring and fucking banged it out. Didn't back up, only went forward, throwing whatever the fuck he could throw in order to finish that fight. And the finish he got. When it came to Gamebred, this motherfucker clinged on to him like a fucking bitch, saying goodbye to her man that's going off to fucking fight overseas. All he did was just hang on to him, stomp on his fucking foot like an angry child, and shoulder bump him for 5 straight rounds. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to look past the cup grabbing, the crotch sniffing. I'm gonna try to look past all of that, because honestly, what I expected out of this fight was the complete opposite of what I got. To Masvidal's credit, allow me to say this: he took the fight on short notice, cut 20 fucking pounds, and went in there and did what he could, gassed the fuck out. And props to him for at least having the wherewithal to try to stand there and fucking bang. And I'm just going to put this out there. I thought Masvidal was winning the exchanges on the feet. I thought he was winning the exchanges left and right on the feet. I thought he landed the better combinations. He landed the better shots. I think he went to the well a little too many times trying to do that switch step hook. I think, once or twice, okay, cool. That's fine that you smoked Darren Till with it, but you're not going to stop someone like Kamaru Usman with that. I feel like Kamaru Usman did not live up to the hype of this fight. And again, like I said with the Volkanovski fight, if you are the champion, it's not your job to go above and beyond. It's up to the challenger to bring it. And I thought for what Gamebred had to work with, I thought he did bring it. He just was unfortunately bringing it to a fighter that didn't want to engage. Usman did not want to engage at all. What he wanted to do was play touch butt and hold a grown man up against a fence and feel how smooth the top of his feet are. That's what the fuck he wanted to do for 5 rounds, and he did it. And to me, that was ultimately disappointing. You're doing all these interviews about I'm going to beat his ass, and he's going to squeal like a pig and all this other shit, and then when you finally get him in there, you hold him, and you hold him, and you hold him some more, and you hold him some more. Now, first, allow me to say I am convinced Kamaru Usman would beat my ass any day of the fucking week in a moment's notice. He would out-wrestle me, he would outstrike me, he would whoop my ass. I have no problem saying that. But if you're just going to hold me and stomp on my feet, why the fuck am I even showing up? What's the point of me even signing the dotted line for this fight? This isn't a fight. This is just a love fest, and that's just not what I'm into. That's not what I'm here for. On that note being said, I was very disappointed with that particular fight because of those particular tactics. I think that Usman is a great wrestler. I think he is a great fighter. And I think that he has what it takes to be a long-lasting, dominant champion. But you have to be dominant. You have to be convincing. People want to see fights. They don't want to see people just hold you and hold you. Honestly, I think if there had been an actual crowd in that venue on Fight Island, they would have started booing. And they would have been booing for 5 rounds. Hell, for fuck's sake, Bellator cut Ben Askren because he was so goddamn boring of just holding people on the ground and holding them there. Doing nothing but holding them there. The difference between those two, at least Ben Askren was beating the shit out of you when he was holding you on the ground. Usman, he got him on the ground and just held him. And just held him. And did nothing. And that's ultimately what disappointed me. Honestly, I don't think this fight changes any differently, even if Masvidal had a full camp. Because I think even if Masvidal had a full camp, didn't cut 20 pounds, didn't take the fight on short notice, I think Usman still holds on to him and nullifies his striking by just holding him and wins on the scorecards by aggressive foot stomps. That's my 2 cents. Deku, your thoughts, sir?
Okay, like I came on the show, I'm guessing you guys are you was expecting more of the fight. I will also say I was expecting a bit more too. To be the guy that side with Usman and say what happened, it happened. He was gonna wrestle fuck him. I'm not about to sit here and strike with Masvidal, who pretty much is better, way better striking. I'm gonna work to my strength. I'm gonna take you down, and if that means me just laying on you and winning, so be it. Put you on the cage, beating you, using a little dirty box and stomp your feet. That's fine. Shoulder bumping you. That's fine. I'm winning. And like you
Let me stop you there for one
like
second. When did the dirty boxing take place? Because I must have missed that.
the dirty boxing is considered the feet stomping and the shoulder bump.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize the rules of combat had changed. My bad. Go ahead, continue.
Oh, okay. They change every day, but I digress. But my thing is this: I get that he says he's gonna make him squeal like a pig and whatnot and everything. Of course, he's gonna say that. Sell the fight. That's what the business that they're in. I feel like in Usman's heart to heart, he knows that he don't really. So you have to say stuff like that in order to get the buys, which I am not for at all. Any type of trash talking. Go in there and compete, do your thing, get your money and bail. But even though Masvidal was a card, I believe the promo they put on really bought some more extra. People bought some more of that pay-per-view buy because of the way he.
Fuck no. People bought this pay-per-view because of Gamebred.
Yeah, I understand that, but you're right. You're right. But at the same time, just imagine, you just Gamebred's on the card, but Usman does his usual thing. I mean,
people wanted to see Rock and Roll Jesus run across that octagon, jump in the fucking air, and aspirin the shit out of him. That's what people wanted to fucking see. And if they couldn't get that, people wanted to see a fucking stand-up war. They wanted to see Usman stand toe-to-toe with Gamebred like he did with Kobe. But he didn't.
You gotta realize, he in his head, when he fought Kobe, he knew that he thought he was the better striker. He never said, and he's gone and said that while leading up to that promo. I'm a better striker than him. I'm better, on the ground, this, that, and the third. He never said that with Masvidal. So the plan was take him down, wrestle fuck him. I mean, throw some feet stomps in there, some shoulder bumps, make like you're winning. And it's like you said earlier, he's the champ. If you want to, and in today's time, and right now, and even on combat sports period, if you're the contender, you might need to knock that motherfucker out in order to win. Because if it goes to the decision, you ain't getting it. We saw it with Hendricks versus GSP. We've seen it countless of other times. So in my head, Usman did the right game plan. That's what I would have been telling him in his corner. Wrestle him. I don't care if you throw punches. Wrestle him down. Because standing up, everybody and their mama knew that fight, that if he tried to strike with Masvidal, he was going to get knocked the fuck out. Styles make fights. Everybody knows this. Everybody on this panel knows it. So
yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
People would be like pissed that they're not standing and stuff, but I completely agree, dude. Like, if you know Masvidal's a better striker, why would you just, for the hell of it, bang with him? It's like, dude, the rules allow you to just grab him and do what you're gonna do with him. So it's like, it's just the way the game is.
He called Masvidal a sub 500 fighter. Said he was better everywhere than Masvidal, and he was going to show everybody last night that he was better than Masvidal, and Masvidal was a journeyman.
But did we all really agree with him? We knew that Masvidal was a better striker than him. Like I was saying, that was just building the promo. That's all it really was. That's all it really was. He knows it. He need to say something on camera.
Well, question.
Yeah.
How many pay-per-views you think he's going to sell the next time?
I don't know.
It's all going to depend on who he's matched up against. He himself.
He might not sell a lot, but he's still champ.
He himself ain't going to be selling shit. It's whoever his opponent is. That's who's going to sell that pay-per-view.
He's going to be defending his titles on fight nights.
Damn.
You might be right. You really might be right. But I mean, stuck to the game plan. That's what I love about Usman. And like you said, if there was a crowd, they would have been booing the fuck out of him. But he stuck to the game plan and he won. And I don't really agree with the crotch grabbing. I don't see why that was a need. I don't understand. I don't know. But I mean, he won.
He's a crotch sniffer, man. He was trying to sniff the crotch.
He's gonna do the exact same thing to Burns, and I can't wait, dude. When he's holding him there, I'm gonna be like jumping up and down.
That shit ain't gonna work on Burns, bro. There's a huge difference between the grappling pedigree of Burns versus Masvidal. Burns ain't gonna stand there and just let him fucking foot stomp the shit out of him and shoulder bump him. Burns will take his ass to the ground and beat the dog shit out of him.
He would not
Everywhere.
He would not double leg. He would not try a double leg on Gilbert Burns.
No, he will not.
You're gonna get choked out.
I can't wait for it, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for it either because I'm going to enjoy giving you my monologue for you to read aloud for all the listeners to hear.
Yeah, I think he can just do whatever he wants to Gilbert Burns.
I have it already written up for you, bro. It's already written.
12 people he can
It's some of the most greatest words ever written.
Deku, let me ask you a question. I just want to go back for just a second.
Okay.
Co-main event.
Volkanovski and Holloway.
But Alex got the job done.
Facts.
They want to get the job. Man, you know what? I will go on and say this. People like us, like, fans, not putting us all in this category. Oh, fuck the fans. This is me out there fighting. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to go out there and go toe-to-toe with the guy like I'm that guy. I would be that bad guy that would have the boring fights, but also would be that guy that you would love to come watch the fights because I want to see his ass get beat.
So you'd be the fighter that we trade to another organization. I got you.
What you say?
You'd be that fighter we would gladly trade to another organization.
Cool. And I would do the same thing in that other organization.
Boo!
And they're going to pay me. And I'm going to have a whole bunch of Asian fans. That's what you're going to be hearing.
I am leaving that in. I am not editing that out. I hope the Asian listeners really gravitate to that. By the way, that was Deku is here, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Keep that in. That's good content.
Oh, that's gold right there. His name is Deku. I'm definitely leaving that in. Wow. So I'm learning a lot about you guys this evening. I'm learning that McGriddles has absolutely no taste in welterweights. I'm learning that A1 Deku, God, will willingly root for a boring fighter as long as they win. And I'm realizing that A1 Justice Magnificent refuses to acknowledge Volkanovski is just a better fighter than Max Holloway. I'm learning a lot about you guys this evening.
Fuck the fans. It's all about winning.
Usman for life, yeah.
So am I the only one here that genuinely believes that Burns takes his fight and not only takes the fight, takes the title?
Well, I'm a Burns fan. I called it when it first got announced.
Cleanly takes the title.
Same thing is going to happen with Usman did to Masvidal.
You're fucking high.
That's what I think too.
You both are fucking high, man.
I would go onto a limb, and a lot of people, most of the people on this panel or that's a part of this show don't believe what I'm about to say. And all for the fans out there, you're probably gonna be like, Ryan, you're dumb as shit. I will go on a limb and say this: Usman's top game, to me, is better than Burns' off his back game. I'm gonna say that again.
I need you to reword that. That was
for all you listeners too. His top game, Usman's top game, is better than Burns' off of his back game.
So what about Usman's top game is so special?
Exactly.
Explain that to me.
We've seen it with. It's really not that special. It's simple wrestling control.
And not throw punches?
That's fine. That's fine. You ain't got to throw no punches. You winning. You are on top. The judges see that you are winning.
Exactly. You know what? Really and I'm glad you said that because you know what? I got just the fight for the next throwback on the next show. I promise you. We're going to change that. I got just the fight.
Okay.
Just the fight.
All right.
Man,
Usman has proved it. Masvidal, he made Tyron Woodley just straight up give up on life. Like, I can't get up. Sorry,
I can't get up.
His top game's too good. And we've seen it throughout Usman's career. He just straight up kill your game plan oh, I'm gonna go for Smith from bottom. No, I'm just gonna lay on you, and you not getting nothing.
No, I agree, dude. He does exactly what he wants, dude. Like, no matter what your specialty is, like, Masvidal is like a more dangerous striker, dude. He just, like, suffocated him, did whatever the fuck he wanted. And I feel like he could do it with everybody. Also, not to mention, he is, like, fucking humongous compared to some of these other guys, dude. Like, he can just grab your ass.
He is big. I will say that he's huge.
What am I
He's
listening to, man? Or are you guys fucking friends with him on Instagram or something? Like, what is this fucking dick riding that I'm hearing right now? Oh,
Dude, I'm the
man,
president of his fan club, dude.
he's just so fucking big and he's just so huge. He can just grab your ass and hold you. And, oh man, fuck the fans. What the fuck? What? Are you fucking serious? Holy shit! Kamaru Usman is literally the fucking Jake Shields of 2020.
There we go. You said it. There you go.
He is the fucking Jake
What's the difference between
Shields.
Usman? Okay.
I'll go one step further. If Jake Shields and we'll say John Fitch had gay sex and somehow ended up with a Nigerian baby, his name would be Kamaru Usman.
Wow. You brought John Fitch in this. Wow. Okay.
He's literally just the black version of those two guys. Boring as fuck. Neither one of those two guys could put asses in seats. The only reason why their names are synonymous to the game is because people just wanted to see them die in the ring because they just brought the fucking sport to a screeching halt. Now, I will give Usman this much. The fight with Kobe, he proved me wrong. He stayed there, he stood toe-to-toe, and he fucking fought. He fought like a man on a mission. The fight with T. Wood, all right. I mean, you know, you can't have barn burners all the time. I get it. Just like you said, you know, Tyron Woodley, I guess apparently forgot how to wrestle, and he forgot how to grapple, and he forgot how to punch as well as kick, and I guess he just forgot to show up that night. Fair enough. Hang him up, T. Wood. Anyway, this fight with Masvidal, what the fuck? This fight proved nothing. This fight, if anything, takes his career back 6 or 7 steps. You have a guy who comes in, cuts 20 pounds, takes the fight on short notice, and you can't put him out? You can't submit him? You can't TKO him? You can't knock him out? You honestly, you can't outwork him. The only thing you can do is hold him and stomp his feet. When you two
grab his crotch.
And grab his crotch. When you two do get into exchange, he's giving it to you. He's fucking giving it to you. He's hitting you with the cleaner combinations, the more crisper, cleaner shots, while being fucking dehydrated. You as the champion, this is what you bring to the table. This is what's going to get you the fight of the night bonuses. This is what's going to make you a dominant champion. This is what's going to get you that Hall of Fame place. No, not at all. Not at all. At least with Hendricks, when he was champion, he at least was knocking motherfuckers out. He was at least getting into scrambles, getting into actual fucking fights. At least then, that welterweight title had some meaning to it. With Usman holding it, yeah, it's whatever. At this point, I can't wait for Burns to beat this virus, choke out COVID, because he's going to, come back into the cage, outwork Usman everywhere. Outwork him on the feet, outwork him on the ground, and laughably take that title from around his waist. I think that Usman is a better fighter when he's not champion. Just my thoughts. I look at his highlight reel before he was champion, pretty entertaining. Pretty good. See some good scraps here and there. I see a good use of his wrestling. But that shit last night, fucking bore fest. Complete snooze fest. That shit was boring. It almost looked like they were teaching an instructional video of women's self-defense. Yeah, girls, grab a hold of them, grab their crotch just like this, and stomp them on the foot. That's what that looked like. No disrespect to any of the women's self-defense instructors. But if that's what you're teaching, fuck you. Just my thoughts. The whole grabbing of the crotch shit, the whole, oh yeah, I'm gonna say it, his fucking top game is impeccable. No, it's not. No, it's not. He had a front headlock on Masvidal, and Masvidal stood the fuck up and just shrugged that shit off. That's your impeccable ground game? That's your impeccable top game? Dude, Burns is gonna choke him the fuck out. If he leaves a limb out there, Burns will break it. If he leaves his neck exposed, Burns is gonna choke him out. If he leaves his chin up, Burns is gonna find that button and put his ass to sleep. I genuinely do not see where Usman beats Burns anywhere. Silence, huh?
I see it like literally completely the opposite. I can't wait for this fight.
I just can't believe that you see the opposite of that. I guess I'm trying to understand, what is it that you see in Usman that nobody else in the world sees? Because clearly you and Deku, you guys got to have the inside scoop on something.
He just, I mean, nobody wobbles him. They don't knock him down. Nobody like has like any. It's like you can measure in seconds how much time somebody's like actually used grappling offensively with him. Like, I agree, he's not exciting at all. But like, he's in front of Masvidal. I don't think Burns is going to be able to do any better than Masvidal striking, and nobody's really been able to grapple him. So I just don't see. And then, admittedly, I don't know Burns like that well, but as a not as Masvidal, as an Usman nut rider right now, I just don't see anybody fucks with him. His cardio is really good too.
What?
I don't even know what I'm hearing right now. I'm in complete shock.
Okay, I'm not.
In the fifth round, he's like
collapsing. I'm not comparing these two.
Does he have like pictures of you guys that he's using? Like I don't understand. Like, are you guys being paid to hype his praises? Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
But why are we saying this? My thing is this. And the guy that I'm not comparing him to this guy, because this guy's a Hall of Fame, he's a legend, and I believe he's like the greatest MMA fighter of all time.
Don't you do it?
I'm not going to do it.
Oh my God, he's doing it.
I will say this: he had more action than him on the ground. He threw strikes, he threw elbows, he did everything. He kind of went for submissions here and there, but he did have some supposed stinkers, and people were saying he was a boring fight. But he's beloved throughout the whole entire world. What's the difference, besides, actually moving and actually throwing elbows? What's the difference between Georges St. Pierre and Usman?
Oh my God, he did
it. Am I hearing?
Taz, you got it, or you want me to get it?
No, you go ahead, bro. I need to just hold my head down in shame. You really just said on the air, what is the difference between Usman and GSP? Holy fuck.
Right there with
and GSP's on his highest career, they were saying he was a boring fighter. We see the difference. But why are it's the same, pretty much the same thing? I mean, I'm not saying like that they're comparable. I'm just saying they kind of implement the same game plan. They win rounds.
I need you to give me an example of a fight where GSP just held a fucker up against a fence, whispered sweet nothings in his ears, and just caressed the top of his foot with the bottom of his. Let me know what fight that is.
But
the difference between if we just go off solely off the wrestling, the difference between GSP and fucking Usman is when GSP went in there to fight, he was there to fight. He wasn't there to fuck around and hold you and caress you and try to like latch onto you like a baby monkey. This motherfucker wanted to fight. The reason why people called him a boring fighter back then is because the game was different back then. During GSP's era, it was all about appeasing the just bleed gods. Everyone wanted stand-up fights. If you took a fight to the ground, the crowd would immediately start booing. There was not an appreciation for the grappling or the ground game back then. It was all about just stand up and bang. Now people have a better understanding on how quickly a fight could end by way of ground and pound or slick ass submission or so forth. GSP, when he hit you with that power double, he didn't lay in your fucking guard. He didn't lay there. He improved position. He rained down shots. If you got to your feet, he'd whoop your ass, take your ass back down again, and try to finish you. If he couldn't finish you, man, it was going to be a long night for you of just getting fucking Superman jabbed and taken down. Usman, he'll take you down and literally smell your balls and tell you exactly what type of conditioner that you use. This dude will sit here and grab your fucking cup, hold you up against a fence, and tell you how pretty you are, and just hold you and caress you and stare deeply into your eyes, because he's not going to do anything else to you. He's going to do nothing.
Did he really like grab his crotch, or
yes,
or was it just I'm trying to get it on single? Come on now, like
he grabbed his crotch, full handful, grab. The ref had to separate him.
Acting like he did this on purpose or something.
Yeah,
he was trying to get blessed by rock and roll Jesus. Oh God, I can't even believe this right now. And McGriddles, you're co-signing on this? You don't see the difference between GSP and Usman?
Yep, John Fitch had the same thing. And Jake Shields.
Facts.
But the difference between those two, Usman wins and he's a champion.
He got more wins than John Fitch in the UFC?
What?
I'm saying he went. I'm saying now, of course he doesn't, but he wins and he has a champion. He has the title.
He is. I give you that.
I'll give you that. I'll wear that one.
If he couldn't solve the problem, Kobe couldn't solve the problem. Obviously, Masvidal. But I will say I do want to see Masvidal full camp. Usman.
Full camp, Masvidal. I mean, working with Bo Nickel. I think it's a different fight. I don't know how much of a different fight, but I do think it's a different fight. Not cutting 20 pounds.
I disagree.
I mean, just
I think it's a different fight for Masvidal. I think he'll be more aggressive. I think it's going to be the same fight for Usman. I think he proved he had no interest in trading or let's call it what it is. He had no interest in fighting Masvidal at all. His game plan was simple. I'm going to hold on to you and lay and pray. Or in their case, lean and pray. I'm going to lean up against the fucking cage and just pray that the ref doesn't break this up. There was no dirty boxing. There was no turning it into a dogfight up against the cage. It was hold on to you, shoulder bump, and foot stomp. That was it. That was his whole game plan. When it did go to the ground, what did he do? Nothing. When he got the front headlock and dragged Masvidal to the ground, did he improve position? Did he take his back? Did he do anything? No. He did nothing. For fuck's sake, Masvidal attempted more submissions than he did.
Now, I will say this, and I know everybody doesn't like it, but this is the reason, and this is what people have to understand what Nate Diaz and Masvidal talks about when they talk about BMF and real fighters. These guys are prize fighters. They're not just going out there to win. They're going out for guts, glory, blood.
Agreed.
They're like the old BJ Penn. They want to lick the blood off the gloves and stand in front of the crowd like the Roman gladiators in the Colosseum. That's what they're about. Not about just laying on people,
smelling balls,
score a couple of points, grabbing, smelling balls, and get a decision. And it's a difference. There's a big difference. Now, it may lose you a couple of fights here and there, maybe a lot of fights. But again, some people are like that, and it has to be a place for people like that.
Oh, there was a place for that. It was back in the late 90s and mid 2000s when GSP was king. That's why people considered GSP a boring fighter back then, because you had guys like Nick Diaz, you had guys like Gilbert Melendez who just wanted to go out there, stand in the middle of that fucking cage, and just fire until somebody fell down and died. You take that approach today, you're an overnight sensation. You're a fucking rock star. You take the Kamaru Usman approach or the Deku approach of I'm not here for the fans. I'm here to just get a victory. I'm gonna wrap my arms around you and stomp on your feet. Yeah, you can't be surprised when people fucking clown you. You can't be surprised when people view you as a boring fighter. Now, like I've said before, Usman is a good fighter. Usman would whoop my ass any day of the week. But if Usman's game plan is to just hold you and stomp on your feet, bro, I can't wait for you to lose the title. This is boring. This doesn't make people want to buy pay-per-views. And right now, with them not getting the money for like gate attendance, they need every pay-per-view buy they can get. And if you got a fucking champion who's not there to fight, who's not there to entertain the masses, what's the point of buying the pay-per-view? This goes back to the BMF title talk that we were having. If that's going to be the case, bro, maybe go ahead and get you that BMF TV title, and you defend that shit on fucking ESPN Fight Nights and leave the pay-per-views to the real fighters.
All right.
Is he a good fighter? Yes. Is he a great champion? Fuck no.
He's a good competitor.
Yes.
He's not a fighter.
He is a better fighter, /competitor when he doesn't have the title. Now that he's got that title, he's boring as fuck. I honestly believe how he fights against Burns is going to determine where he truly falls in terms of the welterweights. Is he how Deku and Uncle McGriddles see him as the best welterweight in the world? We'll see. We will definitely see. Because Burns is a barn burner. That dude is coming to fight. That dude has the grappling to nullify Usman's wrestling. This dude has the striking to make it dangerous if he stands there in the pocket or even stays on the outside. Burns is going to put everything into those punches, everything into those kicks. that stand against the cage and whisper sweet nothings in your ear ain't gonna work.
Just Usman for life, dude. And put him in my will. Usman, you can have my Xbox and like half my games.
What the fuck, bro? You promised that to me. What the hell, man? That's fucked up.
I'm cutting. I'm actually crossing your name out right now. Writing in Kamaru Usman.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Your level's conditional anyway. All right, gentlemen. Well, that was all I had for you guys for this evening. I want to say thank you for all those that are listening, and I want to thanks to Deku, Justice Magnificent, and Uncle McGriddles for taking the time this evening and joining me for this UFC 251 post show. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday on YouTube. It's in episode 4, all about the Beat 'em Ups Volume 1, SNK versus Capcom. That'll drop this Wednesday. Gentlemen, I thank you.
I know you're gonna dig this.